I truly believe that, you know, alone we can go fast, but together we can go further. And I think, these conferences are great for planting the seed, especially for people who are close to you in your life and circle. If they want to support you, or they see you in your zone of genius, they see you in your element and something you're passionate about, it goes a long way. So I would really encourage you, if there's someone that's on the fence, or someone that's, in your family, or maybe it's even your significant other, bring them to this environment, because you cannot not feel the energy.
Who's this? Oh, you're an entrepreneur? Oh, you're a real estate investor. Oh, you're trying to learn from those who did it. Well, come into the lab then. Put your white coat on, gloves on, notepad, and let's build, y'all.
Experimentation, what is going on? Ruben here, just returning back from the STR Wealth Conference, which was a blast in itself. Do have a few notes that I want to share with those of you who were in person and those of you who did not make it. I do have a theme, and I'm going to keep it straight to the punch, just because I believe in, it's really critical for us to think about the importance of showing up in person. Part of the, you know, most of the investments I've made in the lab are everything to do with personal development, information, inspiration, belief, and relationships. And I actually have the triple R's that I want to focus on today as the theme. But before I get there, I think there was one of the things that I want to highlight is this whole idea of showing up in person, and getting a taste of something that you really want. I think the proximity of being in a place where people are doing what you want to do, and that you trade places with them, and getting a taste of that inspiration, or that, whether it's someone that looks like you that's doing something amazing, or whether it's the relationship that you build with an amazing person that really inspires you. It's just so important, because it just pulls you and elevates you and gets you on that frequency level, which, I did an episode, a couple episodes back, on just the fundamental laws of the universe and how they tie into what we want to get, whether it's our first contract, whether it's landing, your first investment property, to scaling to your 100th, or getting your first boutique hotel, or mastering midterm rental insurance, whatever that is. There's something about getting on that frequency level and being very clear on what you want. The reason we go to these conferences, and we had a blast. We invited a lot of our friends and family, because I think it's important for our friends and family to get into the spirit of what we're doing, for them to hear it from someone else, to get them on that frequency level, because I truly believe that, you know, alone we can go fast, but together we can go further. And I think, these conferences are great for planting the seed, especially for people who are close to you in your life and circle. If they want to support you, or they see you in your zone of genius, they see you in your element and something you're passionate about, it goes a long way. So I would really encourage you, if there's someone that's on the fence, or someone that's, in your family, or maybe it's even your significant other, bring them to this environment, because you cannot not feel the energy, and you cannot undo the passion that you feel, and it's contagious. And that's what you want to bring your team on board. We actually ended up bringing our cleaning team over, for them to really get that, they were interested. And so we, comped their ticket, they came through, they were super happy, they got insights. And the reason that's powerful, you might say, Ruben, why would you do your cleaning team? Well, if their business blows up, we blow up, right? Everybody wins when everybody else around you elevates. So it's in your best interest that not only you show up, but also that you bring others that will show up with you to be able to at least support you in that journey and understand what it is that you're doing and hold you accountable as well, right? So it's really important. And then for me, it's the proximity of the people you trade places with. I think it's so important for you to be in proximity of something that you want. That's why I always talk about we go to the open houses of houses that we want, not the ones that we think we can afford. It doesn't matter. We just go there, right? We go in proximity to people we want to be surrounded by, regardless of the level, regardless of their size of their portfolio, right? I mean, it's just fascinating, right? And then when you get in that proximity, you get that inspiration, you see the growth, and when you see them grow, then to me that's the biggest thing. When I see someone achieve a level of mastery that I know that I've had in the lab, it inspires me to take my next level of mastery to the next level because I see the impact that it has is on other people. It's not about you, it's about who loses if you don't win, right? So when I think about that, I think about elevating my peers, elevating my team, elevating myself first, putting on that oxygen mask. It's contagious. And when you can have that effect, when people feel inspired by you or inspired by what you're doing, it just you create this intense, this amazing, this contagious energy and positive vibe that makes you vibrate on a whole new frequency level that attracts the things you truly want. So I want to give a special shout out. First, I'll give a shout out to, my buddy Michael Sjogren for putting together this event. I know how big this was. We get on accountability calls and talk about it often of the vision. I think for me, what was so fascinating is seeing his vision that he's had for a long time turn into what he built today. He was actually on stage with Damien John, like the People Shark. Can you believe it? I've gotten a chance to meet Damien John in person myself years back. But to be sitting on that stage next to that gentleman, being able to ask him question, that's something that I dream about, right? And having a friend, a leader in our space, being able to do that, and him mentioning that that was on his vision board, where when he saw him speak at GrowthCon, um, Grant Cardone's event, he photoshopped an image of him there. That hit me like a ton of bricks, right? It's just that visualization that you have for yourself, right? Just like I have the visualization of partnering with the biggest corporations in the nation and having 10,000 investors on our platform and 10,000 relocation specialists and companies on one platform where we connect a homeowner to to the relocation specialists and insurance companies. I mean, just envisioning that over and over again, and then me speaking on stage and delivering a platform that essentially is changing the way we do business at the midterm rental insurance level. Those are some of the visions that when you see a peer has the exact same large grand vision and makes it come true, it literally gives me the goosebumps. It makes me realize that anything is possible, right? From him launching his podcast, Short-Term Rental Secrets, that our agency used to launch, to him getting his first boutique hotel, now has over 100 units, to him visualizing on stage. I mean, that is how you that is truly how you motivate others around you to do the same, right? And so huge shout out. Another shout out, is Rich Summers. My gosh, I went to the I'm trying to look it up here. I went to the boutique the boutique hotel was probably one of my first my favorite sessions. This was on the first day because when I think of the evolution, everything that we do is a means to an end, or at least that's the way I look at it. And when I think about the evolution of the short-term rental operator, it's about scaling to a place where you can get to a point where you have the ability to then buy commercial assets, because I truly believe that's going to fast track us, right? So when we look at the midterm rental insurance strategy, that's one way to fast track you having not more but less properties to get more revenue, more profitability, more occupancy in your pocket to grow that portfolio. But then it's a means to an end to grow a larger portfolio with friends and family by going commercial. And by commercial, I mean like a boutique hotel, multifamily, etc. And so when I see his evolution, right, he came back in episode 225, and this was back in March. And, his transition from multifamily apartments to boutique hotel, what he's been able to do in that span and time is just amazing. And his level of mastery, because I remember in episode 225, from what I'm seeing now to where he was before, the level of mastery, understanding how to raise capital, how to start a fund, how to understand the risk, how to understand how to buy the asset, how to understand how to raise capital for it, how to understand how to do value add, how to understand how to increase equity, it's just amazing to see people who are in their bag. And if you haven't listened to episode 225, make sure you go ahead and listen to it. Rich Summers, on his transition from multifamily apartments to boutique hotels. He's now become a leader in the space, just like Mike on boutique hoteling. And it's just amazing to see that growth. Inspires me tremendously. Great session overall. In short, that session, when you think of, us having multiple doors in single family, short-term rentals, Airbnbs, etc., MTRs, is, you can incrementally increase the value of a boutique hotel by running a very similar play at scale, right? And then going back to the bank and being able to justify in just a year or two, 18 months, or so, around that sweet spot, generating an equity upwards to $2 million, right? And that is game changing money within your portfolio and within your family. I recall, I thought, can't remember what it was, but at the time, I think Rich might have tripled his net worth, or at least his portfolio value, since we last spoke. I thought he was around, I know he's at 75 million now, 400 plus units, getting a fund. And one of the things I had asked him is, how do you go from like a syndication from a fund? And he said, moving forward, I'm going to just focus on the fund. Experiment Nation, you've heard the word MTR, mid-term rentals, as it is currently a hot topic and hot commodity right now, because again, there has been an increase in short-term rental regulations, and there also has been, let's face it, a slowdown in what we were experiencing a couple years back when it comes to bookings. So with that said, short-term rental operators are looking for alternative solutions to tap into the mid-term rental space. However, there is a sub niche of mid-term rental insurance that I'm truly excited about, that I want to share with you, that the experience that we've had, the tremendous results we've been able to have, and that's the insurance mid-term rental space, which is very different than your traditional mid-term rentals. When you think of traditionally mid-term rentals, you think of travel nurses. There is a space, mid-term rental insurance space, that we've tapped in, where you need to be well connected with insurance and relocation specialists and companies, and understand the right type of asset required for you to be able to help these families. What's really important, that stands out the most, which you can get in what I'm about to offer you, is the understanding where to be found by these insurance companies, how to properly manage your calendar so that your listings are optimized so that they can find you, how to actually gain traction and build a relationship with these relocation insurance companies. I've put together an MTR insurance blueprint. That's MTRR insurance blueprint to cover these foundations after we've had success landing very large contracts on single family homes that literally 4x what we traditionally make in long-term rentals, and also gives us peace of mind because there's less turnover and 100% occupancy, because these contracts can start anywhere from 30 days to 3 months to 8 months and range anywhere from, again, we've landed anywhere from $8,000 to $9,000 a month in per month on a single family home property, which our mortgages are typically around the 2,400 range, which then gives you a large spread of anywhere from 4 to 6K net on just one property. And this is why it's very hot right now. But people who haven't been in the lab with individuals like myself, like Jesse Vasquez and Dr. Rachel Gainsbrugh and Noble Crawford, don't have the foundations and don't know exactly where to start. And therefore, this is why I'm giving you guys a blueprint, the MTRR insurance blueprint. Go to the website, experimentrealestate.com, and get yourself a blueprint to completely change, or at least have a plan B if you're a short-term rental operator looking to maximize your occupancy and profitability. We'll see you on the other side. And so, again, you don't raise that kind of capital by daddling and dibbling and are just flying by the seat of your pants, you achieve a level of mastery, which for us should be the goal. Can you become the go-to provider? um, can you create a real serious track record by committing yourself to your craft, so that enough people around you look around and be like, you know what, very serious, they're serious, he's serious, she's serious, they're serious, let's invest with them. That's the level of mastery that you want to achieve, that it's almost it's a no-brainer. And then educating people how they can invest with you. I love the fact that, pretty sure Rich talked about having uh, a custodian at one of these companies for your 401k and self-directed IRAs, etc., to help you basically liquidate the capital to then invest with. And essentially, if most people don't know how much is in their IRAs, etc., there's a good chance that they'll invest with you because they don't know how hard their money's working anyway. I mean, just understanding that education, that the knowledge in itself, to educating people to invest with you, is genius. Yeah. And I think it's just so synergistic. So that was one. But yeah, the big thing, key takeaway was, seeing uh Damon John out there speaking about the exact same concepts of building a brand, right? We talk about building a brand. We talk about visualization. He talked about it very deeply. He talked about one of the things that stuck out to me too. He talked about the OPM, which it was just this one distinct conversation where he's like, "What is OPM?" And everyone's like, "Other people's money." He's like, "No, OPM is other people's marketing, other people's mistakes, other people's manufacturing, other people's manpower, other people's mentorships, other people." And I'm just like, wow, like the same similar concept. He takes it on a whole nother level. He has a different spin on it. He talks about bartering. I mean, there's a lot of things where you look at someone like him and he sees things from a different lens. And to me, that's the paradigm, right? I think a lot of what I've been sharing as of late is, what is your paradigm? Can you change your paradigm? Change your paradigm, change your life. I always talk about that, right? Your paradigm. You and I can both be looking at the same thing and see two different things, completely different, just because our paradigm is shaped different. And part of why I like going to these conferences is it changes your paradigm, how you look at real estate, how you look at relationships, how you look at building, how you look at partnering, how you look at raising capital, how you look at financing, how you look at creative financing, right? Speaking of creative financing, we had one of the goats, right? I've had this book, Wealth Without Cash, here for a minute. That's Pace Morby. He was on site holding it down. So I got a chance to connect with him. Speaking highly of some people that we know. Shout out to Tanisha. I know we give you a shout out because you just pour so much into the community and having that mutual connect. But it's all about relationships in this game. And coming out, a guy like Pace, he's always out. He's doing meetups. He's educating people for free. He's doing these Facebook communities. I mean, this is the level of game that you want to play. Like when you think of like scaling, I'm like, dude, that's the level we need to be on. So inspiration, taking notes, taking a page from his book, getting a chance to meet a gentleman who's just mastered creative financing, 2,000 plus units, all creatively bought finance. That's insane, right? And you want to talk mastery? What if you took that level of mastery and you combine it with another level of mastery, right? So you take your creative financing, you pour it into, for us, what we're trying to do is do the both, right? We've done a sub 2 deal and now have midterm rental insurance contracts. Our margins are huge. How do we rinse and repeat it? How do we learn from someone like that? First, we get in proximity. Then we learn his blueprint. Then we learn what he's doing in his marketplace. Then we say, okay, you got a meetup. I'm going to create a meetup. You got a podcast. I'll create a podcast, right? Like there's no need to reinvent the wheel. And that's what we do in this lab. They're proven concepts that work if you do the work. And then most importantly, my key takeaways, if you visualize yourself achieving that goal over and over and again, you will get there. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so for me, the 3 R's that stand out is relationships is number one. You build the relationships, and within those relationships have the second R, which is resources. And then those resources with the combined with the relationships help you get the third R, which is results. And one of the things I was most proud of is seeing people come up to me that are in the mastermind and getting results in real time. Like literally, as they were showing me their phones, like this is the result that I got. And I live for results, aka receipts, right? And so One of the things I'm super proud of as well is being able to partner with Mike Sjogren, and being able to, we kind of soft launched it, so it's kind of internal. It's not accessible. If you're in person, we did do a special where you could get access to midterm rental secrets, where yours truly is coaching that. However, back in December, we did do a beta group, and they're already getting results. So I'm so excited to be launching that. And if you want to get ahead of it, to know when that's going to be launching, when the next batch is going to open, just make sure you just grab the midterm rental insurance blueprint, because once you grab that blueprint, you'll be on my email list, and my email list gets access first. So you want to make sure that you grab that. I stand on the shoulders of giants. The MTR Insurance Network and building, where Dr. Rachel, the coaching, I've integrated myself with Mike Sjogren's group. If you guys remember, episode 91 is when he planted that seed of the STR. Then I combined the knowledge that I learned from my partner, Dr. Rachel Gainsbrugh, and others in the space, where I'm just a constant sponge. Learn from Jesse Vasquez, Noble, you name it. All the people I've stepped into the lab, I learned from, I implement, got results, and then handed off those results to those in my mastermind group, got them results, and then was able to attract that relationship with Mike, which I already have had. And now my goal is to just educate as many people on this topic as possible. That's why, if you're currently listening to this or watching this, make sure you go to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, because my goal is to educate as many people as possible, give quality information out there, and then provide a platform that'll give you access to these deals, to these more prevalent deals, which is the MTR Insurance Network, which is still in development, right? So, in short, just really proud to see results. But the three key pillars are: first, relationship. You come in here, build relationships. We had an amazing mastermind dinner, many of them. We shout out to Mark Simpson for putting together an amazing group, which we know, Mr. Boostly, as we call him, the pioneer in the digital marketing space when it comes to not only AI but also building our websites. All of our short-term rental websites and mid-term rental websites are built on, including the network, are built by Boostly. So shout out to him. Brought the people together. That's what he does, right? Brings homeowners and bookers, direct bookers, together on one platform. By building websites. He was able to do that in person. The amazing 2 Airbnbs where we just collaborated for a couple days. Had some great time. By the way, shuffleboard, you guys don't want to see me. I'm still undefeated this weekend. I love me an Airbnb with a shuffleboard. I'm addicted to it, and I cannot and will not lose. So if you're listening, you want to give me a little challenge, I'll meet you in your city somewhere. Shuffleboard, get active with me. Who got next? I got next. Always. So still undefeated in Nashville, still undefeated with my peers. But that was super fun. Great relationship. Shout out to so many people. Shout out to Jason Reese. Shout out to Dave and Mark, Sarah, Berta. I mean, there were so many people in the building. Wendy, Monica, Daryl. I mean, the whole team was out here, just to connect. Shout out to Brian Hatcher. He was in the building as well. Will Slickies, Julie George. We met some amazing people. The hospitable hosts were in the building as well. So again, just a great time. Just a great time. And proximity. Are you clear on your goals? What are your goals? Do you write them down every single day? Do you journal on them? Do you then visualize yourself having achieved those goals already? And then, are you making relationships? Are you building relationships that align with those goals? Do those relationships then provide resources where doors can open? And once they do, if you're able to obviously serve others, right, of the ones you're building relationship with, can you also provide value, provide yourself a service, serve them? It will by default give you the result that you want. That's what I believe. Those are the triple R's. That's my recap of the conference. Hope to see you next time. I'm manifesting that next year I will certainly be there again. I'll be on that stage. That's my goal, to continue to serve you, serve the people, and continue to help homeowners 10,000 plus this year alone. triple their revenue with the midterm rental insurance strategy, and then give them a platform that allows them to connect with more and more insurance contracts to increase your profitability and occupancy. So with that said, Experiment Nation, thank you again for another one. This one goes into the books. It was amazing. Hope to see you in the flesh. Do not miss out on these. Do not miss out on proximity. Do not miss out on watering the plant, watering the seed so it can turn into a plant for your goals. Because once a plant grows, I truly believe that that plant grows, and plants give oxygen in our ecosystem, and giving oxygen in our ecosystem means helping someone else breathe. So you want to put your mask on so you can provide more oxygen, provide more of a resource so that you can then have an impact in your community. And that is true mastery. That is true dominance. That is true leadership. And that's what we need more of in our space. In our world, we need leaders, because it's not about you. It's about who loses if you don't win. So on that note, Experiment Nation, stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, grab your midterm rental insurance blueprint, and just like that, we are out.
Experiment Nation, podcasting has changed the way we operate as real estate investors ourselves, and it can do the same for you. Podcasting has been the source of the masterclasses that we get thanks to the world-class real estate investors and practitioners and specialists that come into the lab from all realms, from short-term rentals to midterm rentals to real estate syndications to even software as a service. Owners, founders, entrepreneurs have helped enrich our experiments by giving us the education, helping us build a network, and lastly, and most importantly, a brand association to open up multiple doors for our respective businesses. If you understand the power that podcasting can have, and you know that you need one for your brand, please, you can rely on our team. InvestedTalent.com is my team and the team that helps this podcast, the Real Estate Experiment, become the fruition each and every single week to educate my community, build relationships on the air, and continue to build our brand. If you know that you need to do the same for your brand and you haven't pulled the trigger yet, maybe because you don't know how, our company, InvestedTalent.com, does the end-to-end from the time that you record, from the time that it is published, to even repurposing content on multiple social media platforms. That's what my team can do for you. Simply go to InvestedTalent.com and book a discovery call to see how my team can help you launch your podcast.